Stormtrooper twice lined up in rows. Let's go! Reviewing each one with the patch to show it so. Plastic to metal, he knows them so well. Oh, wow. Stormtrooper swagger, his story to tell. Tune in for Bert, he's the toy expert. Let's go! From action to arcade, see the best displayed. Fun never ends with our toy-loving friend. Bert's the one we know, bringing every show.
Hello and welcome to That's Just Prime, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Takara MPG-09 Masterpiece Super Jinrai, and I love this toy. Released in 2025, this figure is brand new and available from online retailers right now as of the time of this recording, and it retails for approximately $280. This is a big one, so save your pennies. And here we have a look at the packaging. This thing just arrived and it is absolutely beautiful. We've got that new MPG, so Masterpiece going forward is going to be MPG. Not sure what that means. Masterpiece Go, Masterpiece Giant, Masterpiece Got Tight, who knows? But that's what we're going to get now going forward with Masterpiece is MPG, so the numbering is going to start over again. So we're at MPG 09. Transformers 40th anniversary, Takara Tomy. We got the T-Spark logo over here on the side and beautiful product shots of Super Jinrai. We got the truck mode right there behind them. We got Jinrai right there. And then, of course, we got Super Jinrai or Jinrai in his super mode right there. Transformers MPG logo, Super Jinrai on the top, tiny type on the bottom. And then over on the rear of the box, I haven't put this to a translator, so I'm not sure what we got going on here. I'm sure it's a nice description, possibly a backstory. But we've got product shots. We've got Super Jinrai in a couple of different modes. We've got showing us some of the effects and some of the parts that are come included. We got, of course, Jinrai himself, who turns into the engine for the transector. Then we've got, shows us that we get a couple of different heads. I'll show you those in a moment. A couple of the accessories, some of the blast effects and some of these lightning effects, the cannons, the rifles, and of course showing us the small truck going into the small robot mode and the base mode as well. So that's about it for the packaging. Let's check out the figure inside. And here is everything that we get inside of the package. And as you can see, we get a ton of stuff. So we have a lot of playability and customizing options right here. Of course, we're going to get our figure. So we've got the trailer and we've got the tractor over here in the front. It does come packaged in vehicle mode. And of course, we're going to look at those in more detail here in a moment. You get a sheet, or actually a book of instructions, which is very easy to follow. You get a cool card right here for Super Jinrai. And then along the back, you got some product shots and some stats, which is very cool. You get a sticker sheet, and the sticker sheet is really cool, and it kind of goes together with some of these other pieces right here. So this is meant to be Jinrai or Super Jinrai as we saw him in the Master Force cartoon. This is not technically out of the box, not meant to be Powermaster Optimus Prime. However, you can make him Powermaster Optimus Prime if you'd like. As you can see over here, we got a couple of different heads. So let me show these off real quick. So right now, he's got his head that looks like the head that he had in the Japanese show. But he's also got this alternate head that it's a little more angular. It's a little angrier looking. It's got the little beveled edge here at the bottom of the chin guard and whatnot. So it's the anime looking head. But a little more stylized, a little more angry looking. And then, of course, you also get this head right here. And you'll notice this one's got the red eyes, just like Powermaster Prime had in his US release. You also get a couple of hands. So you get a set of hands that are, these are extra hands. So he's got the hands that he has are the back of the hand here. And the palm would be red. And then the fingers are blue. But then you also get these alternate hands where you get the completely blue fists. And then you got the sheet of instructions right here. Sorry, the sheet of stickers right here. So you can place these stickers on them. For example, as you see here, the Autobot logo is just kind of outlined and it kind of blended in with the paint of the trailer. That's the way we saw him in the Japanese show. But you can give him this silver one, this sticker right here, that's going to replace or go over this, and that's going to make them look more like the G1 Powermaster Prime that we got here in the States, along with these other stickers right here. You would place these on the figure, and it would make your whole figure look like Powermaster Prime instead of Jinrai. So you get the option. You can make him, you can leave him as is, which is what I'm going to do with mine. I'm leaving mine as Jinrai. Or you can make him Powermaster Optimus Prime. The choice is yours. Of course, we get the double cannons right here that are going to mount to the side of the trailer, and then of course in the super mode. So we get both of those. We get 2 sets of guns, and these are cool. I'm going to grab one of each. So, you know, the regular Powermaster Prime or Super Genrai guns that are going to mount here, and these are going to be his handguns. But you also get a set of smaller ones. This is really neat because you get the options. If you want to have just a truck by itself, you can have these guns with this truck, or also with the small robot, you can use these smaller guns. If these guns feel a little oversized, and let's face it, G1 Powermaster Prime, his guns felt oversized, right? So you have a smaller version of those that you can use for the smaller robot, and it looks really, really good. So it's really nice that they gave us that option. You also get these. These are going to be shoulder pads for his super mode. Now, if you're not familiar, in the Japanese show in Master Force, when originally Jinrai was just a truck, right? Later he got the trailer. When he got the trailer initially, he did not have the weapons. He did not have the cannons here on the sides. He did not have these big guns. So he didn't have those on his side, right? So when you put him in the super mode, you have the option of putting these little plugs on his shoulders to make him look like the animation before he got his weapons. That is really, really cool. I find that to be such a neat little detail. Of course, we get some blast effects for the weapons, so you can put these on here, which is very cool, and they look super nice. And then you also get these kind of electric shocks right here. And what's cool about these is these have the little tab here on the side so that you can plug them into his hand just the same way you would with the weapons. But you can also remove this, and now you've got that little port right there, which is also weapon compatible or blast effect compatible right there. So you can shoot lightning from your guns if you'd like, or you can again put this little piece back on and then use that tab to plug him into his hands and have him shooting lightning from his hands like the Emperor, I guess. And and then we also get 2 Jinrai figures themselves. So we get this little static one. Let me see if I can get this to focus a little better. So we get this little static one right there, which is really neat. And this guy is in scale with the truck and with the base. It's very cool. And he also does something very cool with the truck, which I'm going to show you in just a moment. So there's this guy right here. And then we get this Jinrai figure right here. And this one is the one that's actually going to transform into the engine for the truck right there. This one is fully articulated. Let's see if we can see the details right there. So you can see he's got the blue visor, but he's also got the flesh tone on his face. So that is a human right there. That is Jinrai right there. And you've got the white body right there with the little details. You've got the red arms, the red legs, or red thighs rather, and then the black legs right there. He is fully articulated, so the shoulders right here can go up and down, and they can go forward and backwards. Not all the way around because you got a backpack right there. And then the hips are on a ball joint, so you can go in and out, and you can go forward and backwards. The knees are on ball joints, so you can also bend the knees, and then the little toes right here can move up and down as well, and that's going to be for transformation. So there's your little Jinrai figure. So there is everything that comes included. Let's clean this up and take a closer look at the figure itself. All right, so here we have Jinrai in his truck mode and looking absolutely fantastic. Really nice size for this guy too. The truck itself is approximately 5.5 inches long by about 2.25 tall. Yeah, about 2 inches tall. 3 if you go to the top of the smokestack right there. The trailer itself is approximately 10.5 inches long and about 5 inches at the highest point, giving us a combined length of about 15 inches. So really nice size right there. He's a little smaller than the current MP line when it comes to the actual small robot, but then when you combine them, he upsizes, and I think he scales really, really well with the rest of the MP line. Let's separate these guys so we can take a closer look at them. This is very cool right here. starting with the cool features on the trailer, we got outriggers right here on the side, so you can pull down on these, and the trailer is able to stand on its own, which is very, very nice. And here we have Jinrai's cab right here, looking really good. And of course, this is done in the classic red and blue that Optimus Prime or Jinrai usually sports. You got a little silver details right there on the front. We've got the little silver stripe right there. Nice blue windows, chrome on the grill right there. Silver paint for the headlights and the bumpers. You got a little yellow detail right there on the bumper as well. Silver paint for the wheels and the thighs right there as well. And then you have blue on the back right there. We got chrome on the smokestacks. These smokestacks are absolute garbage. Be careful with the smokestack. Everybody is breaking these left and right, especially these little tabs right here. When it comes, these little tabs have to go into these slots when you go to transform him into the combine mode. There's a specific thing you have to do with the knees. I'm going to show you during transformation, but these are breaking left and right. So far, I've been fortunate. I haven't broken those tabs. However, this top piece of this smokestack on the passenger side was broken on mine out of the box. It hadn't snapped off completely. It was just kind of hanging at a 45 like this and just hanging for dear life. I was able to put a little plastic welder in there. It's been holding just fine ever since. I just got to get a chrome pen so I can touch up the paint where the plastic welder ate it up. But yeah, broken out of the box. Everybody's smokestacks seem to be breaking. Be very careful. These smokestacks are absolute garbage. Aside from that, take the smokestacks out of the equation. Everything else about this figure has been absolutely outstanding. I don't want to soil the impressions on this figure. Yes, the smokestacks suck. They're garbage. Everything else on this figure, absolutely fantastic. So just be careful with those. Now, let's do a couple of things here real quick. So I mentioned that the small static, not postable Jinrai does something cool with the cab, and that is you can actually have Jinrai inside of the cab. So what we're going to do here is we're going to come right here to the front. We got these two little panels. We want to open these panels up and just get them back and out of the way. So open those up, and that's going to now allow us to take the cab here and separate it. This whole front of this cab is all die cast, by the way. Feels really, really nice. So we're able to unpop that and just move it forward. There's a peg right there that goes into that port, and or rather a tab, and then there's tabs here on the side, one on each side, that go into these slots here and here. So you're going to want to watch for that when it's time to close it back up again. Now, if you take a look at Jinrai right here, if you look at his base, you'll notice that there's a little tab right there to the front of the figure. And if you look inside of the cab, there's a couple of slots right there and right there. So you can choose. You want to make this a right-hand driver or a left-hand driver? Completely up to you. It was a Japanese show, so they would have been driving on the left, rather on the right. It's completely up to you. You can pop them in there anywhere you'd like. So I'm going to go ahead and tab mine in there. I'm popping mine in on the left, but there you go. So he tabs in right there, holds in quite securely, and then you can close this back up again. So close this up, line up those tabs, close these panels back up again, and there you go. You've got Jinrai. It's hard to see. In fact, let me bring the light down some. Let me see if this helps, because it is kind of hard to see. That did not help at all, but he's in there. You can see that Jinrai is actually, you can see him a little bit right there. So that's very cool. You can have Jinrai actually inside of the cab driving, and you can leave him in there. In fact, I'm going to leave mine in there for the rest of the review. And he should not, I've transformed him a couple of times with him in there, and he hasn't fallen out. Of course, I'm on camera, so I expect he's probably going to pop off, but we'll see when we get there. Let's take a look at the trailer, and, it's the Powermaster Prime trailer, or the Jinrai, Super Jinrai trailer. All right, so we got the silver trailer with the blue stripe right there. We got some blue details here on the front, and then we've got those red stacks right there. Over here on the back, we got silver wheels. The tires are, that's solid plastic, so they're not like a soft plastic or anything like that. They are plastic. And you got blue details on the back here. This is kind of neat, but kind of like also kind of like what? Why? So with the original toy, you could open, there was two doors that you could open, and you can do that with this guy. So you can open those up, and you got those little ramps right there, just like that. But there's not a whole lot of room in there. Like, you can put Jinrai in there, and I guess that's a thing that you can do. there's not a whole lot of room. With the original G1 figure, I used to store, and I still do actually, the Powermaster head in there. This is cool that they did that, but there isn't any room to do anything with this, so it's kind of one of those like, cool, you did it, you added 2 more hinges, which upped the price, who knows how much, but what can you really do with that, you know, kind of a thing. But it's there, I guess. So, you know, there it is. And yeah, going all the way around. Now, of course, you are going to see the Super Robot, pretty much a whole of the Super Robot right there on the bottom. I like what they did here with this column right here that plugs into the tractor trailer itself. They added these flaps that plug into the stacks right there to close this up. So you don't have, when you're in truck mode like this, you are not actually looking at the inside of this chest cavity right there. There's actually a little wall right there, and it makes it look more solid. And I really like that they did that right there, which is very, very cool. All right, so let's start putting this guy together. So Jinrai right here, we're going to take Jinrai, put his arms down. The legs are going to come up at the thigh, and when you get all the way out here to a 90, you're going to turn them so that the toe is pointing down. Now you're going to be able to take this little tab right here and put it into this slot right there on the engine. So we're going to do that there, and then you're going to take his foot and just flip it down, just like that. And then, of course, we're going to do that over here on the same side as well. Bring his leg up, turn it 90, and then tab that into the engine, bring his little foot down. And there you go. You've got Jinrai right here in his engine mode so that you can plug him into his transector. I almost said plug him into Prime. And then I went ahead and dropped him. So trying that one more time, we're going to take him and we're going to plug him into his transector. Right there. And that's it. It just plugs in right there. He's got 2 little clips. I like to kind of get my thumbnails in there and just kind of push the legs out a little bit so that it grabs those clips. And there you go right there. Now, there's a chance when you pop this guy in, you see this little tab right here. That tab actually pushes in, or pushes out rather, when you plug the Powermaster in there. You can transform the figure with him in there, but what tends to happen is that at some point you're going to move something that's going to push that tab, and when that happens, it's going to shoot that Powermaster right back out again. It's just going to happen. So I think for the purposes of the review, I'm just going to leave him out. I'm going to leave him off, and I'm going to, actually, no, I'm not going to do that yet. I am going to, when it's time to transform him, I'm probably just going to go ahead and take him out. Again, you can transform him with him in there, but if you touch that little tab right there during transformation, you're just going to shoot him off. So, you know, it's just one of those where you might as well just take it off, transform him, then plug him back in. All right, let's get the trailer back on the truck. Let's bring in the weapon. So, of course, we saw these earlier, and you can mount these on each side. So we'll go ahead and plug those in there, like that, and like that. And then let's move on to the cannons. Now, I'm going to use the big ones for this. This is cool. The way these weapons work is really, really neat. So you see they got a peg right there. That peg is going to go right there. When we go to the robot mode, these actually flip, and then you've got a handle that has the little tabs right there that plug into the figure's hands. So that's really, really cool the way they did that. So for this mode, you just want to flip these forward so you have the round peg. And then we can go ahead and pop these right there. And there we have Jinrai, Super Jinrai, in his powered up truck mode, or Powermaster Optimus Prime, the way we're all used to seeing him. He looks really nice, and he rolls really, really well. Now, let's see if we can do a couple of comparisons. So we're going to bring this guy way back here, and let's see if this will fit in shot. We'll bring in the original G1 Powermaster Optimus Prime, so you can see what the two of them look like together. And back it up just a little bit so you can see the two of them together. And as you can see, when it comes to the cabs themselves, the cabs actually size up pretty much the same. The Masterpiece, the new Masterpiece, is just a tiny bit smaller than the original G1 cab. Of course, the trailer is considerably bigger. So there you go, so you can see what the two of them look like together. And here's a shot I honestly did not think I was going to be able to get away with because of the sheer size of this figure. Here is MPG-09 Super Jinrai next to Fan Hobbies Power Baser, which is an amazing figure. I haven't gotten to this review on this one yet. It's an amazing figure, but it's absolutely enormous. I didn't think I was going to get away with this shot, but there you go, so you can see what the two of them look like together. Still lots to go over, so let's get right into the transformation, and we're going to start right here with Jinrai. So we're going to start off with these same panels that we flipped over earlier, so we're going to go ahead and flip those back again. Now, one thing I don't like to do is I don't like to bring them back all the way. I'm going to show you why in just a moment. Let's work on the legs right here, so we can go ahead and bring these down. And they are tabbed together here at the hitch and also right there. They come off very easily, so go ahead and do that, and then take the hitch and flip it around. Just like so. Take the bottom or the rearmost part of the leg right here and just kind of pull that down. And then we're going to reach right in here and pull the toe out, and mine are super, super tight. There you go, but there we have a toe. Just flip that all the way around. So again, just pull down on that ankle until it snaps into place, and then just bring the toe all the way around. Just like that. Now, down here in the hips, you're going to notice that the legs are actually mounted on this little ratchet with a swivel. So you can actually bring these down like so, and that's going to give them a little added height, as you can see. So go ahead and bring those down on both sides. And the bottom of the robot is pretty much all done. So let's concentrate here on the upper part of the robot. Now, since we've gone ahead and pulled these flaps out, we are going to go ahead and take these little panels. And this is why I don't like to bring these out back all the way. This little red panel right here, you want to pop it out. But to do that, you need to pull it back a little bit and just kind of work that tab around. And it doesn't quite clear the blue panel. So I just kind of leave the blue panel over it like so, because the clearance is just not enough and it feels like you're going to break something. See, that's putting too much stress on it. So I put the blue panel over it like so. Go ahead and grab the cab, and we're going to split that again. And now this next part is probably the more complex part of it, the fiddlier of the part of the transformation. So the forearm, we want to rotate it down and out away from the robot. And then this panel right here, we want to turn it 90 degrees. So basically we're going to do this with it. We're going to turn it in. This one's going to turn 90 degrees the other way. So this is one of those things that kind of has to happen all at the same time. So as you're rotating that, go ahead and bring that out. You can close this panel all the way and then finish straightening out the arm like so. Same thing on this side. We're just going to kind of bring the arm down. And as we're doing so, just bring it out, close that blue panel. Bring these out to the side, and then bring the arm up. And then these little panels that we've been fiddling with, go ahead and flip those up. And then hide those under the arm, like that. So again, just bring the arm up, bring this up and over, and bring the arm back down. Now we're going to go back in the cab here. Actually, while we're here, this is probably a good time to go ahead and turn the waist around. Inside of the cab, we're going to take this panel right here, flip it all the way up, rotate it 180. This is where the head's going to be. And then go ahead and rotate the head down. Before we close all of this up, this is probably the best time to take care of this next order of business. I knew that Jinrai was going to fall off while I transformed. It hasn't happened. And then today it was going to happen. So let me bring out these butterfly joints right here. There are a couple of filler panels that are inside of the body here, because as it is, he's kind of hollow right here. So we're going to get these panels down, and this is probably the best time to do it. So there are two panels for the chest, for the torso, here and here, and then two panels for the abs for either side of the grill, here and here. And we want to go ahead and get those down, and now is probably the best time to do it. So we're going to bring that down. That's going to be this panel right here. Bring it all the way out until it soft clicks into place, just like that. We'll go ahead and get this next one out as well, and bring that all the way down until it soft clicks into place. And then these right here are going to come out. You might need a tool, especially in the beginning, because the joints are super, super tight on these guys. So there you go. All the filler is there now. Go ahead and bring the head down. What we're going to do here, again, as you saw earlier, that tab right there is going to go into the slot, and then these tabs here on the sides are going to go into the sides of the vehicle here and here. As you bring it in, the head is going to get, knew that was going to happen. We'll just set them off to the side. So that head's going to get in the way. So the best thing to do here is to bring this panel up just a little bit, and then just kind of have these two meet in the middle, like so, and then bring it all the way down. And then push that in there. Now, the shoulders here, these are on a double hinge, so we want to get that tab into that slot right there. Just work that double hinge. And get that tab into place right there. Same thing on this side, work on that double hinge. I like to bring the arms up and just kind of give them a squeeze to get those tabs secure in place. Bring these back down again. And then finally, we're going to open up the forearm right here. And then we're going to pull out the fist right there. Close that back up. Again. Open up the forearm. Bring the fist out. There are a couple of tabs and slots right there. Close that back up again. And we'll bring in Jinrai, plug him in again, just so we can have him complete. But there we go. There is Jinrai in his basic, do we want to call it basic? In his basic robot mode. And here in robot mode, Jinrai stands approximately 7.5 inches tall. So he is going to be a little shorter than your average masterpiece figure. Just keep that in mind. He's kind of almost like in scale with the deluxe masterpieces, right? Keep that in mind, because when we do combine, he is going to get bigger. Now, coming in close, this is an absolute gorgeous figure. Look at the head sculpt on him. That is absolutely perfect. I love the way those windows look. And then you've got the silver grill right there. We do have red on the chest because, again, this is meant to be Jinrai, not Prime. So these are meant to be red. We got the white waist right here with the yellow details. Silver legs with blue details, and then coming down to the blue legs, black on the vent right there. Going, taking a look at the arms, the Autobot logos are, or the Cybertron logos rather. These are just black outlines. So again, if you want to do a more Powermaster Optimus Prime kind of a look, you could put some toy hacks over that. It's just kind of going all the way around so you can see. Actually, let's take a look at the side right here. So you can see it's not as hollow as I thought originally it was going to look. You see, it does fill in quite nicely, so he does not make for a hollow figure. And then going all the way around so you can see the back. The back is the front of the cab with Jinrai plugged in back there, and that is cartoon accurate. Articulation-wise, head can move all the way up like so. And again, you know, do the transformation and can go side to side all the way around. Shoulders can go in and out. They can go forward and backwards all the way around. And you've got a butterfly joint right there for the shoulders. You have a rotation at the bicep. You have a nice bend at the elbow. The wrists can rotate. They can also move up and down. And then you've got articulated fingers. All 4 fingers are joined together, but they do open and close on that hinge so that he can hold his weapons. He has an ab crunch. 1, 2, 3, 4 clicks of an ab crunch, so he can actually look all the way down and see if his shoes are tied, which is pretty nice. All right, so that right there, that's what I wanted to show you. See that the little tab right there? That little tab gets pushed out anytime Jinrai is plugged in. And so as you're posing him or as you're transforming him, anything like that, that's going to tend to happen right there. So you want to make sure that that clears over that whenever you're posing them, so that doesn't happen to you. These little panels right here can move forward. In fact, you want to make sure that you move these forward because these wheels are tabbed in right there and the wheels can move off to the side. The legs can go all the way out. They can go forward, back. They can rotate at the thigh. You have a double bend at the knee. Let's address the knee right here. So we got a bend right here at the knee. And then we also have this joint right here, which is clipped on and it's super tight. And hopefully that'll loosen up with time. And we want to make sure that we unclip that and that. Both of these are going to be necessary to be unclipped when we go to the super robot mode. So you got about a 90 there, and then you have another more than a 90 here. So he can actually roll his leg all the way back, which is really, really impressive. And then, of course, as you see, the toes can go forward, they can go back some, and they can also do ankle tilts, so you can get some nice wide stances. In fact, check that out. Some kind of a football pose or some sort. Superhero pose. So yeah, he is very, very poseable. Very, very nice looking figure. Oh, that's one more point of articulation I forgot to show. On the waist, or the torso, he can actually tilt it side to side, which is pretty cool. So let's get him nice and straightened out again. And we'll bring in some weapons. So again, we'll bring in these smaller weapons right here. And again, we're going to take this and just flip it over. And you got the little tabs right there. So inside of his hands, he's got the little tab slot system that Masterpiece figures have right there. So you can actually just tab that right in there. Close the fingers around it. And there you go. Prime holding his rifle. Very nice. Now, this is the smaller one. This is the larger one. You can use whichever one you want. It's completely up to you. If you like the look of the oversized one, by all means, go for it. But this is the one that I'm going to use for this shot anyway. Now, these weapons, again, are blast compatible. So you can bring in these little blast effects right here. And pop those right in there. Make sure he's holding that tight, and there you go. Oh, man. This is going to be a long video. There you go. That looks really good. That looks really, really awesome. And then let's do this. We'll do this one firing out. We'll give him a little bit of an A stance here. And then we'll open this hand here. Man, I don't know why I'm having so much trouble getting him to hold his weapon all of a sudden. And then if you remember, we had these little lightning bolts here with the little tab. So you can go ahead and put that tab in here as well. And there you go. Now you've got him firing lightning out of his hands, which is very, very cool. And again, also you can take this out. And then you can take this off. Take the little piece right there. Take that off. Set that off to the side. And once again, we can plug this into the weapon. So now his weapon is the one that's firing the lightning, which is very neat. We'll get that pose right there. And there you go. And that's another thing that you can do. So again, a lot of play options with this figure. There's just a lot that you can do. He's very poseable. If you're one of those guys that likes taking pictures, doing poses in pictures and doing stuff like that, I'm not. I'm just not super talented when it comes to photographing figures, but there's some guys out there that do some really, really cool photography when it comes to these figures. This figure is an absolute perfect candidate for that. So let me get this guy straightened out. We'll do a couple of comparisons real quick. And for a few quick comparisons, here is MPG Jinrai with the original Generation 1 Jinrai. And as you can see there, they're pretty close to each other in size, actually. MPG is just a little taller than the original. But there you go, so you can see what the two of them look like together. Here he is with Fans Hobby Power Baser. So you can see what the two of them look like together. And Power Baser stands right at the same height with, say, like an MP44, right? They're about the same height. So you can see what the size difference here is going to be between Jinrai in his basic mode versus your standard leader, let's say leader, Masterpiece figure. So he's going to be a little short again. We're going to grow here in a moment. So there you go. So you can see what the two of them look like together. And sure, why not? Since he's already here, here he is with G1 Optimus Prime. In this case, we've got Missing Link Convoy. So you can see what the two of them look like together. Okay, so next we're going to transform the trailer into the base mode. So we're going to start by putting the outriggers away. And we are going to come here to the back. We're going to take these panels right here on the side and untab these. These are tabbed here to the side, and then that's going to untab this whole panel. Just kind of bring this off to the side. Do the same thing on this side. We're going to untab that one and bring that all the way up and over. Reach down here, untab this, and bring it all the way up like so. All right, let's come here to the front. These blue panels are tabbed into these red columns right here, so we're going to untab those, bring that out. And then we're going to take this entire panel and just kind of pull down on it some, just enough to get it untabbed right there, as you can see. And then we can bring this all the way back here. This little panel here is going to slide down, or it's on a double hinge. It's going to come down. It does tab into place. There is a little tab on the top side there that's going to go into a port there. So you can actually tab that into place. This panel is going to tab in here via this port or that slot right there. And then finally, this is going to, oh, we don't need to tab that down because we are going into base mode. So there you go. There's that. Take this column right here, rotate this, and then bring it all the way up. Take this little blue panel here and close that out. Again, over here, we're going to take the side panel. We're going to unpeg this blue one, rotate it all the way back, unpeg the entire side panel, bring it back, hinge this down and over, hinge this back, and then bring that back, like so. Again, we're going to take this panel right here, we're going to rotate it, and then rotate it down, and close this up right here. Take this blue piece, bring it out, and then this little peg right here where the trailer was hitched onto the truck, you're going to straighten that out like so. Okay, so move the hip skirts right here. We're going to move these up like so that you can take the leg and just bring that all the way over. Again, move the hip skirt there and bring that leg all the way over. This piece right here, this blue piece, is going to hinge inwards. Take this hitch and flip it so that it's at a 90 facing in like so, and then tab this entire thing into place. This is now going to allow you to, well, we're missing a step here. Bring these up, and then that slot is going to tab in right there. So bring that all the way up and over. And bring that all the way up and over. And now we can take and unpeg this, and we're going to rotate this entire thing down like so. And we're going to set it down. Go ahead and straighten out the columns right here, and then I like to rotate these so that these ports are facing out like so. Per the instructions, this goes all the way back like so. Of course, if you're in the G1, you can do this as a tower all the way up or angle it to make a gun. Completely up to you. I like to do it like that. And then these panels here, these are going to flip right over. Nope, we missed a step. So we want to go down here. Under the wheels is a foot. So we're going to move this away from the wheel. It's actually going to turn. It's really, really stiff. This is the ankle tilt for the Super Robot. There you go. And then that's going to allow you to rotate this entire thing down and then go ahead and straighten it back up again. So again, the foot for the Super Robot, we are going to tilt this down and away from that wheel just enough. Just one click. That's going to allow us to rotate this foot down and then straighten it out again. Now we have the clearance to take these panels, flip them over like so, and then take these ramps and bring them up and over. So again, bring the panel over, bring the ramp up and over. And there we go. There is our Powermaster, our Jinrai base. Really, really cool. And of course, you can bring in all your weapons. You've got a couple of ports right here in the center of the blue piece. So you can put these here, like so. And then, of course, you can bring in the large guns. And with the pegs on them, you can place them here or you can bring them up here, completely up to you. In fact, here's something really cool that I like to do is I like to put these down here, the big ones. I like to put them here at the bottom. And then bring in the small ones and put these in the top here. Like so. You can put them there. Or you can rotate them and put them on the inside. You know, whatever you want to do, you can do that. Which, you know, again, it's very cool because it does give you options. I'm not putting the little ones on here because I've got Jinrai holding the other small ones, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. But I am gonna put these here, like so. Because that's about as close to the original G1 base as we're going to get, which is really, really cool. And again, bring it in Jinrai. There you go, so you can see what that looks like together. And you can also grab the Jinrai figure himself, bring this back down again. And then just rotate his legs this way. Let's bring his arms up a little bit. And you can actually put him on the guns just like we did with the original G1 figure. How cool is that? That is just absolutely awesome. I love how that works. They, they size very, very well together. And again, this figure just provides a lot of play options. It's just very, very cool to me. So we'll get these guys off to the side. We'll get them ready. And we'll move into the Super Robot combination. So we'll start by taking off all the weapons and just setting those off to the side. And there. Let's see. Where do we start? Actually, we'll start by bringing the camera up, because we're going to get up there. So we're going to start right here with this back panel right here. Go ahead and just pick the whole thing up and bring this panel up and over and plug that right into place. And then this panel is going to come up and over all the way up. This is going to tab in right there. And then these tabs right here on this blue piece are going to go, these bottom ones here are going to go into these ports right here. So make sure you're using this bottom hinge right here and bring it down as far as it'll go. And then turn that in place, right? Actually, before we do that, we want to flip that up. And now go ahead and secure that into place. There you go. We're going to take our ramps. We're going to fold them back in. And then we're going to take the figure and stand it up. Like so. There we go. This panel, make sure that this panel is down. Bring the arms down. Like so. And we're going to want to bring that up some more. Reach in here, grab this panel for the head, and just bring this up and over like that. Now, let's talk about the arms right here. So bring the arms out, rotate them so that the port is facing away from you, like that. This panel, lift this up, and then split the arm up, like so. Rotate the fist out. You'll notice there's a little tab and port right there. Peg that in place, bring that down, rotate the arm and bring it down. There's one arm done. Same on the next side, same thing. So we're gonna bring this up, bring up that little panel, split the arm in half, and bring this out. And this right here is where the hand is going to, if you want to replace the hand, you can go ahead and just pull that out right there like so. And then bring the other hand and just slot that right into place. If I can see what I'm doing. Why was the other one so easy and I can't get this one? Ah, there it is. Okay. And then we're just going to slot that into place right there. And that's how you replace the hands if you want to do an all blue hand versus the Japanese Master Force hand. There you go. That's how that's done. But again, I like my Master Force hands. So I want this. I actually want this to be Jinrai, not Powermaster Prime. So I'm happy with that. And just rotate that. There we go. Arms are done. He's ready for the cab. So let's bring that in. Let's talk about the cab and what we want to do here. So again, the knees. Remember that the double knees had two joints. They had this top one and they had this bottom one. You want to make sure that you're using both of them. These top pieces of the knees right here, these little top plates, are going to clip into those ports or those slots right in there. So make sure that you undo those and bring this up about here. On the bottom of the truck, right in there, you're going to see that there's a slot, or a tab rather, that goes into a slot on the back of the thigh. So you want to make sure that those are slotted into place. Carefully, we're going to bring back or bring out the smokestacks. And if you remember, there's these tabs that we talked about. These are the tabs that everybody's breaking. You want to be very careful with. Okay, those tabs there and there on the smokestacks are going to go into these slots on the side of the legs, there and there. So you're going to want to make sure that the legs are folded properly at the right angle and that those are lining up nicely, and bring those into place just like that. Once you're there, you don't want to move the knees, you don't want to move the hips, you don't want to do any of that. So you want to make sure that the rest of the vehicle is in place before you do that. And then again, when you go back to truck mode, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to pull back on these guys very, very carefully and bring them straight back so that you don't break those tabs. Very, very important. So there we go. We're all set right there. We got a couple of slots or tabs right here, rather, that are going to go into these slots here and here. The smokestacks are going to go into these portions here. And then these hinges here are going to go into these grooves right in here. So we're just going to start sliding all this down. And you kind of just want to work it in there. Get it all the way down like that so that the top of the truck is flush with his shoulders. This little piece right here, we're just going to flip this up. And then we're going to bring the head down over in between these two leg pieces. And there's a tab right there that's going to go into this slot right down there. And that should slot into place. A lot of times you want to maybe push back on the cab a little bit to secure it in place. And there is Super Jinrai in his super robot mode. Looking absolutely fantastic. Mine's giving me a little bit of trouble here with keeping the head down right there. And that's usually going to be something with the placement of the cab or something like that. You play around with it, you get it done. Of course, you know, because I'm on camera, it's going to give me a hard time. But there we go. He's looking absolutely fantastic. Looks exactly like he did in the animation. He looks stunning. This is absolutely beautiful. And here in robot mode, he stands at approximately 11.5 inches tall. And he's grown quite a bit. He looks really, really good. So now you might notice I've already got these pieces here on the shoulders. Again, going back to the original cartoon, when Jinrai first got the trailer, he did not have the weapons. He did not have those shoulder cannons. This is how he looked. So you get that option if you want to display him like this before he got his weapons. That is a really, really cool option. But of course, we're here for the full mode. So when you want to put the weapons on him, all you got to do is pop these off. You got the little pegs right there. Set those off to the side. And then we can bring in our cannons and pop those in right there. And we're looking more like Super Jinrai now. Along the back, you got a couple of ports here and here on both sides. So if you want to store the weapons, you can store the weapons back here or way down here. If you want to do that, that's something that you can do. Before we go into, why is this not holding? There's a tab. There's a couple of tabs right here, and they're not the strongest tabs. Real quick for articulation, the head can turn side to side. It can look down and up just a little bit, not a whole lot. There you go. See, now that's holding in place. That's nice. Shoulders. These little pylon pieces here, they move up and out of the way, so you can move the shoulders up all the way. You can also go forward and backwards all the way around. We have rotation at the bicep, and you got a nice bend at the elbow. Of course, the wrists are articulated. You can turn the wrists. The thumb has one pin. The index finger has two, so the index finger is articulated. You got a joint at the base and a joint mid-finger. Then the other three fingers are all jointed together. They also have a joint at the base and a joint in the middle. So you can do that with the fingers. You do have a waist rotation. It is a clicky waist rotation. We also have an ab crunch. So the small robot has an ab crunch, and the super robot also has an ab crunch. Not as much as the small robot, but he's got it. He can ab crunch, which is really, really nice. These skirt pieces here, they can move out of the way. Leg can go all the way out. You saw that for the base mode. And we'll bring those back down again. Legs can go forward. Let's see, you can move that out of the way. Legs can go all the way forward. They can go back as far as the backpack is going to allow it. Rotation at the thigh. Nice bend at the knee. Check that out. Really, really nice bend at the knee right there. The feet can go forward and backward just a little bit. And then you also got, I think, one click of ankle tilt right there. So you can do that right there. And you can give them some nice, good, dynamic poses. Going all the way around so you can see what he looks like. The backpack is the normal backpack that he would have. There are no hollow spots. Everything looks just like he did in the animation model, and I absolutely love it. This figure is such a beautiful, beautiful figure. I really do love everything about this figure. And guess what? God Bomber is coming, so we can make God Jinrai in the future. We're going to be able to make God Jinrai. That is so cool. I am really, really looking forward to that. The weapons, again, we have all of the same functionality that we had before. So you got the weapons. This time we're going to flip that over so that we can use those tabs to put them in his hands. Again, we can do blast effect this way. We can do lightning effect this way. We can do that. We can also put the little lightning, the little handpiece into the lightning. And then we can open up his hand, and you got the little ports or the little slots right inside of this palm. So you can plug these in. And now you've got lightning shooting out of his hands. And, you know, if you want to get crazy, leave that little piece in here. You can finagle this enough. And there you go. Now he's just shooting blasts out of his hands. You can do that too. It's really cool. It does give you a lot of play options. It looks so, so good. It's such a fun figure. Again, like I said in the beginning, everything about this figure is absolutely perfect with the exception of those smokestacks. Those smokestacks are terrible. They should come up with a new, better, stronger smokestack and send a replacement set out to everyone that got this figure. Because just about everyone I know that I've talked to that has this figure has broken that smokestack. And that's just unacceptable. Other than that, other than no smokestacks, man, what an absolute joy of a figure. I cannot wait to get that God Bomber and see what else we can do with this guy. That's going to be so, so cool. I hope that we get the Headmaster Juniors in Masterpiece and MPG too. That would be cool to get the whole Master Force line in this. That would be really, really cool to see. So there we go. There is MPG-09 God Jinrai in his super mode. And for comparisons, once again, we're going to bring in the original G1 Powermaster Optimus Prime so you can see what the two of them look like together. And remember, he was just like this big earlier. Look at how much he's grown. He sizes so, so well with Masterpiece figures because he's not supposed to be in his robot, in the super robot mode. He's not supposed to be twice as big as all the other figures, right? He's supposed to have grown some. This is perfect. So yeah, that looks really, really good. So we'll get him off to the side and we'll bring in once again the Fans Hobby Power Baser. This is an absolute monster of a figure. So, and this is what I was referring to. You know, if it makes any sense, you'll remember that in basic robot mode, this guy was Masterpiece scale. Now, combined like this, he towers over the figures that he was in scale with, and it's actually too big. It doesn't scale right. This actually scales correctly with the other Masterpiece figures, if that makes sense, right? So, I've heard it put best that like somebody I was on a stream last night with Rodimus Primal and with Extra Zero, and Extra Zero made a perfect point. He said in his collection, this guy is Super Jinrai, this guy's Powermaster Optimus Prime, and I think that is absolutely brilliant. That is an absolute great way of looking. I've heard that people are starting to sell this guy off, and I don't understand why, because this is a fantastic figure too. But there you go. So you can see what the two of them look like together. We'll get this behemoth off to the side, and we'll do one more comparison, of course, because he's right here. Why not? There he is with G1 Optimus Prime. Of course, once again, the missing link convoy version, so you can see what the two of them look like together. Quite the size difference. So yeah, there you have it. You know, if you're still watching this, I want to give you a special thank you for still being here, sticking out with me this long. I know this was a long video. I don't like making videos this long because the retention is just not there when they're this long. But this figure, there's just so much to cover with this figure. It's just kind of hard not to, especially with me, with my enthusiasm for everything Optimus Prime. I just really get into it, and I just start talking and just blabbing on and on about these. But on top of all of that, this figure just comes with so many pieces, and there's so much that you can do with this figure. There's so much playability that you can't help but make a long video with it. But I think I'm going to leave it there. Absolutely perfect figure. Again, watch out for those smokestacks. Those smokestacks are not good. Other than that, excellent figure. Everything else about this figure I find absolutely... Oh, you know what? One more thing I didn't show. The head replacements. So they're very simple. The head simply just slided forward. That's it. It's that simple to replace. And then let's take this one here with the red eyes, and we'll pop that one in place just like that. It is that easy. The heads can be swapped out that easily. Again, I like the one that he came with, so that's the one I'm gonna keep him on right there. Now we've shown everything that came with this figure, and I think that about does it for the Transformers Takara Tomy MPG-09 Super Jinrai. If you are into Masterpiece, if you're into Optimus Prime, if you're into Master Force, if you're into G1, this is an absolute must-have for your Transformers. They're an excellent addition to any Transformer shelf. And again, I cannot wait for God Bomber to come later this year so that we can make Super God Jinrai. I cannot wait to see that. What did you think of this figure? Let me know down in the comments. Give me some thumbs up. Like, subscribe, and share with your friends if you like what you see. As always, thank you so very much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time on That's Just Prime.
Into arcade, see the best displayed on